Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Intuitive Angel Internet radio thing.
Radio thing, now Facebook Live. How about that?
Facebook Live, that's it.
So,
well, welcome everybody. How you doing, Amy?
I'm doing good, Dave.
Again, everybody, thanks a lot for your patience.
Thanks a lot for being patient. It's always a joy trying to hook up because sometimes it doesn't like our internet signal.
It's always something, isn't it?
Hello, everybody. So I actually called and upgraded my internet signal so it was more powerful, which of course didn't work. I think next time I'm just going to beam it directly to your brains. There you have it. So I wanted to talk before we get started. So those of you who are just tuning in, if you'd like a reading for next week's show, next week we're going to do pet readings. So if you have a pet or a pet on the other side or a friend's pet that you'd like to know a little bit more about, we're going to be talking about your pets. What you have to do is give us your birth date and your name and your location and your pet's name and what kind of pet it is. And then we're going to be connecting with your pets and letting you know that they're all okay, because I'm sure that they are. You'll be absolutely amazed, because I found that pets are actually playing a huge role in the world today. The spirits of pets come back and are being very helpful. So I'll tell you all about that next week. So this week we're continuing on doing the readings, the New Year's readings, the resolution readings. And one of the things that has come up, and thank you for making us hugely successful.
Amy, we hit a record today.
What did we
3,000 views.
3,000 views. So that was like really good. And we're going to be starting as soon as I get my act together. Yeah, thank you. We're going to be starting also doing daily readings up on YouTube. So we're going to be doing that. And one of the things I want you to know, because I know many of you listen very patiently for your reading, we're up into like close to 100 requests. So we can only do what we can do. If you do have an absolute emergency, and please use this with discretion, you can put 911 in your request, and I'll try to get to you first. So please, again, use it with discretion. We'll always get to you eventually, I promise that. Why would you be interested in other people's readings? Well, a good friend of mine, David Zimmerman, he introduced me to Claregate College out in the UK, and they study esoteric philosophy. One of the things that they say is that we're all a part of He who can't be known. So again, you have to understand that this is very old, coming up from the 8th century and forward. And so the idea was that the universe is a large body with sentient body, and that's what makes it up. And each of us is a part of that. Other philosophies say that each person has something like 744 facets, okay? So imagine that times 10 to the 100th power. So probably each of us has, in the hundreds of thousands of different aspects to our personality. And we share those with our brothers and sisters. So as I do readings for people in person, I'm constantly shocked that you're on the same journey that I am. Isn't that interesting? And that we're all learning similar things. It's because those people who connect with me are part of my soul group. And so when you're part of a soul group, the soul group is all of us learning things together. So you might be learning to be more fiscally responsible. You might be learning to be more loving. You might be learning that in the dysfunction of your relationships, you might have had the teeniest little bit to do with it. You may be learning about the seasons and how life goes through cycles. There's just, honestly, each of our story is not unique to us. Each person's story is part of us. So when you listen to all the readings, and my New Year's hair, when you listen to all the readings, you're actually getting an insight into yourselves. And as I explain what's happening, okay, Dave, as I explain what's happening with the cards, it reverberates with all of you. I've gotten some beautiful messages and letters and things saying, "Oh, hey, Amy, I heard you, and it wasn't even my reading, but it just triggered me, and I'm so excited about that." So I'm so excited to be able to do that for you. So it's worth it listening to the whole show and hearing how it goes. It's also worth it if you are a reader or you do aspire to be a reader to listen and to understand how it works, okay? And then one last thing, on the page, the Intuitive Angel Radio Show page, I did post the phone number you call. So many people have asked for personal readings. The fee schedule, it's very simple, $75 for an hour, $40 for half an hour. Can't get more simple than that. And we do telephone, live, and we do Skype. So if you want just one-on-one, you can do that, but you're always free just to post below. So when you post below this video, your name, your birth date, and your location, and then next time your pet's name and the breed or what kind of pet you have, you go on our list. So those who post below are on our list, one of the first people. We also, Dave, don't we? Dave spent a lot of time looking at our last week's list to make sure that all of those of you who didn't get read this week. And if you're looking at my boo-boo, it's a serious curling iron disaster. So I seared my face. How about that? So if anybody out there knows a good burn remedy, let me know. I could really use some help in this matter. So we're going to start. Why don't you give me a name, Dave?
All righty. And don't forget, everybody, mediumship class happening Thursday.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
From noon till 2.
Noon to 2.
It's going to be healing with the help of angels and spirits. And then a repeat class, the exact same class, Friday from 7 to 9. 83 Century Drive is the place to be.
Okay.
All righty. So first of all, we have let's see, Rosa.
Thank you for the heart. Okay, Rosa.
Rosa, she was born September 21st, 1972, is that? Is that a 7 or 9?
1972. 1972.
She's from Aurora.
I can't read my writing. That's because I never write. I usually type.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So for Rosa, and we're going to do it a little bit differently. What?
Well, were we going to do her son separately?
Oh, okay, so this is one of those examples. This is a 911 reading. So her name is Rosa. We're going to do Rosa, and then we'll do her son's secondary.
Okay.
Her son is quite ill, so you're going to see what it looks like to do a reading. And one thing, I have worked as a medical intuitive for 30 years now. Doctors respect my intuition. I never diagnose, but I will point you in the right direction for the tests to be taken. And how do I know? Well, I know because I've studied, and then I also know because interruptions in your energy field then translate to medical conditions. And sometimes the doctors just don't know. You can go many times, like I went many times to the emergency ward, many times to the doctor, and nobody diagnosed me with a pulmonary embolism. They just all said, "Oh, you got pneumonia," But no, I was dying, so they didn't know. So thank God they finally, a wonderful doctor. They didn't even know in the emergency ward when I ended up there mostly dead. The doctor thought I was having a heart attack instead of being right on target. So this angel doctor came and said, no, I think she's having this. So it was very interesting. So that's what a medical intuitive can do, point you in the right direction. Then it's up to you to take the steps to check it out. If I'm wrong, hey, great. But in general, on the path of discovery, you'll figure out what it is, and then you won't be sitting around wondering what's wrong with you. Okay, so Rosa, her first card. So again, this is the shamanic circle. So it's winter time first, and then it's spring, summer, and fall. So I'm turning 4 cards. So winter time right now, she has the Tower. So those of you who know tarot, the Tower predicts an ending of something, a kind of an upheaval, a trauma. So it looks like this season right now, the winter time, she's going to be discovering things, and she's going to have to, and it's appropriate, she'll have to fight to discover what she needs to discover to protect her son. So the next one, spring. Spring is the coming together, partnership. It's the card of love. So it is about, love springing forward. Summer, she has the snake, and the snake is not a Christian snake. It didn't tempt Eve. The snake crawls with her belly on the ground and gives you information. So the snake is good in this case because she has a sick child. it predicts that she'll be able, sometime in the summer, they'll actually figure out not just what's wrong, but what's causing it. And then the last card for her is the clouds. And luckily, the white clouds are facing the south when it puts down on the table. And that means that the storms are going to end, and it's going to begin to get clear at the end of the year. So all in all, although you're going to have a little bit of action this year, it predicts that it's going to be a good outcome. And I'm going to turn one more card for you. This is the answer to finances and love, because everybody's been writing, tell me about my finances, tell me about love. And in this one, it's the mentor card. So it means that somebody is going to come along to help you with your finances, to give you advice as far as your romance life goes, and that you should really listen, because there's probably a few changes you have to make. Okay, so that's Rosa. Now let's do Rosa's son.
Okay, and his, hold on, let me find him. Okay, his stats are, his name's Joel.
Okay.
And he was born October 16th, 2003.
Okay.
And he's from Aurora, and he has extreme pain in his right eye.
Okay.
Go
on. This reminds me of a story. I was working with a lady in Scotland, and she called me up and was very agitated and said that she was seeing angels. She was seeing these bright white flashes of light, and she just knew she'd been chosen to be an angel messenger. Turns out she had a detached cornea, or detached retina. So I told her, yeah, go figure. So she wasn't really the angel lady, although maybe later she became the angel lady. But sometimes when you think you're having a profound metaphysical experience, you're actually having a physical occurrence. So she had to go to the doctor, and she found out she had the detached retina, and they fixed her up, and she was fine, but she wasn't seeing angels. Okay, so the card is the staff, and this predicts in the wintertime for Joel that, once again, just like his mom, he is going through some discovery, and he has to be able to stand up for himself. In the springtime, the fish, which is good, it means that it's going to resolve itself. And then in the summertime, the learning. I do think that this might just spur him on to learning about these things, childhood diseases and things like that. So I think you'll be amazed. He'll just take a tremendous interest come summer. And then the last one is the anchor, which predicts, it's one of the biggest cards to predict a successful resolution to things. Now, we're going to turn another card here, and it's the coyote. Oh, coyote card. Okay, coyote or fox. And what it means is, on this journey to getting better, there may be a lot of false paths. So one of the things I would recommend is, I happen to know that he had surgery on his other eye. Surgeons do surgery. That's what they're about. My surgeon, when I had my broken leg and I had to have my whole body put back together again, he actually was so cute. He came out and said, I did such a great job fixing you. And I said, oh yeah, then how come I can't walk anymore? So there you have it. Many weeks of therapy later, now I'm walking, but he didn't care. He just cared about being the surgeon. So you have to look for someone like a pediatric ophthalmologist at a place like Northwestern or University of Chicago, who is going to actually look at why is this happening. I have a good feeling about Northwestern, and I do believe he had his original surgery at Northwestern, but don't necessarily talk to the surgeon, talk to someone who understands the underlying things. Sometimes people are born with certain occluded nerve bundles. It's complicated. And it could be that as he's aging hormonally and stuff, he's actually having occlusions, which are causing a swelling in the fluid in his eye. I know that's very technical, but that's what you want to say. He's in terrible pain, he can't see, and he needs immediate assistance. They may have to do something like draining the fluid or something like that, but you will get, I promise you, if you get yourself down there, they will resolve it. Okay, take care, and I'm sure he's going to be. And so everybody out there, send a heart for Joel to pray for him so that he will have a positive outcome. Okay.
All right, there you go. Well, we have a few left over from last week
Okay.
for our annual New Year's predictions. So let's get started with these from last week.
Okay.
Thank you for your patience, guys. Joann, March 28th. Do you know what March 28th is?
Does anybody out there know what March 28th is?
It's the day
Day
before my
before
birthday. Okay, March 28th, 1952, from Stevens Point, Wisconsin.
Okay. So, this is a card, it means chatter. So, it means that you're in a state right now, you're probably very worried. When you're worried, you can't sleep because your brain doesn't shut off. And you just go, and when you do dream, you dream about like walking around and not being able to find a bathroom. So, if you can't do anything about it at 2 o'clock in the morning, it isn't worth worrying about, because unless you can do something about it, it just wastes your time, honestly. So this card says that you're deep into chatter, and your goal is to winnow out the thoughts. So you want to come down to just thinking about one thing that you can do in the morning that might change your life. And I had a wonderful friend tell me the other day that she discovered giving it up to Jesus, giving it up to God. Giving it up to God it doesn't make any difference what your religious belief is, but giving it up to a higher power and just saying, you know what, I can't do anything about this. I'm just giving it to you. Let me know what to do. I'm waiting. So that's what this card means. Let me know what to do. I'm waiting, and get through all of the chatter of all the birds. Let's see, spring. Oh, well, it works, because this is the miracle card. This is the bear. The bear is like the bear market. It indicates certainty of good finances, certainty of good results on things that you're venturing into. So it's one of there's like 6 lucky cards in the deck, so this is one of the most lucky cards, the bear. It really pertains to money. And then you have the sun. So in the summertime, the sun is going to come out. So I would recommend that you use the money that comes to you in the springtime and spend it on travel. Do some travel. I read this very interesting story today about a woman and her daughter. She just quit work. She had 30,000 Australian pounds saved up, and she and her daughter have been traveling for over a year now. She travels very cheap, but they've gone and seen monks. They've traveled all around the world, and they have no intention of coming back anytime soon. So it's like that. Although you should make your money work for you, traditionally you invest it, and then it gives you a small return, and then you can live off of that. But sometimes making the money work for you is buying experiences. The one thing it's not about is buying stuff. Okay, and then the card, this is nice. You do come home. You come home, and in the fall, you have the happy home. So it means that if there's any financial worries, or if you're worried about your home, or selling your home, or buying a new home, that it's all going to resolve itself by the fall, and you're going to be whole and wonderful. And then the relationship or love card is crossroads. It means that it's going to be an adventure. You're going to have lots of different choices, but to remember that if you make a choice and move down the road, you can always come back to go. Okay, take care.
All right, thank you, Joann. Thanks for your patience again. Deb's next.
Okay, Deb.
February 6th. God, that's like 8 days past my birthday. Anyway. February 6th, 1958. She's from Chicago, Illinois.
Okay, yay. All right, in the north, which is the time, it's winter time, and it's the time when you get to reevaluate yourself, you get to study. There was a time before social media when you read books, you did stuff like that, you settled in. So this means that what you're going to discover is that the thing that's the most important to you above everything else is loyalty. So you will have one of those epiphanies when you see that sometimes your friends who are loyal are the friends that you need. You don't need all the excitement and all the love and all the, career goals, et cetera, et cetera. You just need to take a little loyalty break and be with good friends. In the springtime, what happens is you learn how to defend yourself. Dave was telling me the other day that actors who know how to fence, right, they make a lot more money because they have an extra skill. So fencing isn't about having arguments. Fencing is about being able to state your case and stand tall, on guard. So you're going to be able to speak your truths in the springtime. In the summertime, it's the roar, it's the lion, and it means that you want to be careful in the summer to not overstate yourself. You might really, you might have such a good time in the spring fighting for truth that you get carried away and become somewhat of a zealot. So you want to just puff down and you're going to be just fine. The line is always in charge, so that's good news. And you just want to use the words that come out of your mouth kindly. And then the fall is to be like a child, to be playful, to bring out that childlike aspect of you. It's funny, isn't it? Because it reminds me of being in the military and going on R&R. So you can't always be at war. Sometimes you have to have that childlike influence. And then, oh, this is nice. Someone is looking at you with love and longing. So it could be a friend who wants to start a business with you. It could be someone who's a romantic interest. It could be someone you're currently involved with, but who wakes up and notices you finally and says, hey, I really like you. So love and longing is going to be a card that permeates all of your whole reading. Okay, take care.
All right, thank you, Deb. Candace is next.
Okay, Candace.
All right, that's August 29th, 1952. If you're curious, she's from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah, the beer that made Schlitz famous.
Okay, Candace, this starting now, and by the way, astrologically speaking, it was very interesting. This night, 2017, astrologically is a 1 in like 5,000 shot to be one of the most successful years out there. Now, I've been saying that to people for a while, despite your political leanings one way or another. The energy, the government is made up of people. The country is us, okay? And the stock market is us. And the people who go out and buy things, it's us. So when you have a good energy from the planets, from astrology, and you're feeling upbeat about things, then everything else follows. So this says that for Candace, the time she's heading into is a very profitable and time filled with joy and good energy, okay? So this is going to be a very nice winter for you, Candace. And then in the spring, it's time to settle down a little bit and to bring in the goddess energy. That's what the moon is all about, the goddess energy and balance. One of the things about the star is sometimes it ignites you so much that you're just so excited and you go out and start 12 different businesses at one time. I don't recommend that because I've done it and it's exhausting. So the moon tells you to just be calm. The luck is going to flow throughout the whole year and you want to just take a deep breath and take care of yourself. Pick just 1 or 2 projects to follow and everything will be well. And then in the summertime, we have the kittens. Kittens they have double meaning, but since you have 2 very lucky cards, I'm going to think that the kittens mean to be playful. Sometimes it means that people around you are a little catty. They might be a little bit jealous of your success, but if you treat them playfully or just laugh with them, you're going to be just fine. And then in the winter, it's wholeness. It's the circle. So Angeles Arians writes about the shapes test, and in the shapes test, the circle means that you're yearning for wholeness and completion and just no worries and feeling okay about everything. So I wouldn't get too committed throughout the year. My hunch is that you just want to focus on, like I said, 1 or 2 things, so that when you come into the winter time, you can have that wonderful feeling of completion and wholeness. It'll fill your heart. And then your relationship, this is interesting. It means that you're going to be making a move. The stork on the roof historically means in Europe that the person who lives in that house is going to be moving away. But in our context, it means that you might be changing jobs. You might actually be moving your residence. You're in movement. So there's, you're open to changes and open to change the energy of your life. Okay, take care. Yay!
All right, thank you so much, Candace. Okay. Moving right along, Patrick.
Okay.
All righty, let's see. May 28th, 1972. He's from Dallas, Texas.
Okay, Patrick. It says here that you're a party animal. This is the party card, so it's party hardy this winter. I think a lot of times, I've been in the spiritual world for many, many, many years. And one of the things I have to say is sometimes you get so serious you forget how to have a good time. So it's okay to go out with friends, to share a bottle of wine, to laugh, to talk. And I don't know if you guys know, but in many, many indigenous people ceremonies, alcohol is a part of it. Alcohol or some kind of plant medicine. And it's just a way of releasing the spirit. So spirits, to release the spirit, that's what winter is going to be like for you. And also camaraderie and friendship. And then the mountains come up in the spring. So there's been some things you've been avoiding, but the lower mountains are next to you. So that means that they're doable instead of daunting. What you want to do is get them behind you. So you can go to National Geographic and cut out some pictures of mountains, and you can put them behind you in bed, or just make sure they're not in front of you, behind the chair where you normally sit. If you're at a table and you sit down at the table to have dinner, make sure the mountains are in back of you. It's because you want those mountains to support you, not to frighten you. So in springtime, you're going to be able to scale mountains and really literally change your life. Then the outcome, is a beautiful harmony and relationship. It's the park. And you can, well, you probably can't see, but there's a little bench there. In the park, it means that you're going to find the peace of a perfect relationship. And perfect relationships start with you, so it's inner peace, and then it's being able to draw people towards you who support you. Oftentimes it means finding just work, perfect work, so that you're going to be able to be filled with peace and joy. Okay, and that's in the summer. And then in the wintertime, clover. So you're going to have a really good year, with the exception of the mountains. So just ignore the mountains and get over them, and then just proceed into your year. So the clover means that in the fall, it's going to be the culmination of all the things that you started, probably actually from about 3 years ago. So some things that have been pending are going to come to fruition. And usually the clover means money. Okay, and then let's see what the mice. So for finances, so say I'm right and some money's coming to you, okay, you want to be careful, all of you out there want to be careful about the mice, because I was thinking the other day, you know, do you ever just have that daydream, like, what would happen if I won the lottery and $40 million? So I'd buy a house for my kids, I'd give everybody a car, I'd send Dave on a trip around the world, on a cruise ship, where they just cater him all the time. But the truth of the matter is, if you do have some money coming in, you want to use that money to generate money to help others, to create jobs, or to generate money to have an income for the kids, instead of just giving them a wad of money, because again and again, the people who win the lottery have been proven not to be too happy about it. They lose everything. So the mice, it's okay to give a piece of cheese to one mouse, but if you've got like 50 mice, you're in trouble. So it says be careful with your money. That's in the fall. And then let's look at, if you're not, there's going to be trouble afoot as far as finances go. Although I will say, relationship-wise, this has a more positive thing. It means that the energy will clear. You know how it gets like really heavy before a storm, so you might be in a heavy situation, and then the energy is going to clear, and that ozone-y smell is going to come, and you're going to have very clear sight. Okay, take care. All right. Yay.
All righty. That was Patrick, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Doug's next.
Okay, Doug.
Doug's June 4th, 1970 in Aurora, Illinois.
Okay, Doug, here we go. All right, love. Woohoo, Doug. It means that there's going to be a quickening in your heart. This is a very romantic card, so generally it means that you're going to be in love with a person. It can be a person that you've been with for quite some time. Relationships, as we know, ebb and flow. And so it could be that you're headed into a very good time, or it could be that somebody new is coming in. It can also be that you discover, I have many students that discovered esoteric teaching, and they fall in love. They want to take a class every day because they want to learn more and more and more. So it could be something like that, but the winter time now is going to be punctuated by passion, and I love that. Okay, and then the springtime, your ship is going to come in. It means that the resources you need, that you've been thinking you've been lacking, are finally going to come in. So imagine you're in 1776 and you don't have any cloth to make a dress, or any tools, metal tools or things like that, and you have to wait for the ship to come in. So it means that good things are going to happen, and you're going to have the necessary resources to do what you want to do. And then in the springtime, it's going to be time to beautify your environment. With a lady, it could mean bringing more color in, getting a slip covering the furniture, doing something, going to Pier 1 and buying some pillows and throwing them around. But for a guy, it could be that you change the way your workshop looks. It doesn't make any difference. It doesn't have to be soft and feminine. It can be masculine, but you make your environment much more useful to you. That's what that means. And then in the end, the fire. And the fire is a sure predictor of success in all outcomes. So a long time ago, I was doing a meditation, and I asked the angel, what should I do? You know, please tell me. And he said very clearly, I actually heard with my ears, clean your closet. And I was like, okay, that's good, but what should I do? So back here, it's like clean your closet. Don't question. Get yourself organized, because when this abundance comes in, you're not going to have time. And it's a sad state. You're going to have to work twice as hard to be abundant if you don't listen up at the beginning, earlier in the year. And then here, oh, this is good. In all matters, financial and romantic, there has been a blockage. So these cards are from the 1850s. And many of the people I work with believe in curses. But curses have a lifetime. They don't last forever and ever. So this means that something that's been dogging you and preventing you from moving forward is going to end this year. So you will feel like surf is up. You are going to be you're going to like be 20 years younger in your feelings, because that heaviness on your shoulders isn't going to be there anymore. So that's really, really wonderful. And just walk carefully. Don't be too crazy. Okay, take care.
All right, there you go, Doug. Thanks a lot, man. Next up, we have Lisa.
Okay, Lisa.
December 12th, 1969 is when she was born. She's from Naperville, Illinois.
This is a good month. This is a good season for you. Recognition. Well, every once in a while, the angel talks, and it's not Dave, it's up there. Anyway, and the angel just said, that you have not received the recognition that you deserve, and that now people are going to be recognizing you and understanding your worth. So this is a really wonderful card. Just accept it. So if somebody tells you you're wonderful, you go, thanks. Don't say no, not me. Just say thanks. That's really good. Okay, and then in the springtime, it's the anatomical heart, and that means it's a sure predictor of love. It's because love comes from deep within the body, not from without. So once you receive your recognition, you're going to like you, and then others will love you. So this is very important. It means that this is going to be a big year for you. And then in the summer, crossroads, once again, I don't see this as a problem. I just see that there's going to be a lot of abundance, and there's going to be many, many different paths you can take. And don't let it freeze you in time and space. Sometimes when you've waited for a very long time, like for recognition, when good things begin to happen, you get afraid. What if it all changes? But you can put your little feetsies down a path, and then if you don't like it, you can come back, and then you can try another path. It's okay to make choices. Once you go down, it's not irretrievable. So just understand that this is the summertime will be a time to sample many different things. And then in the winter, we have happy home. So it means that the culmination of all your wishes and dreams are going to be inner happiness and happiness in your home. And then for love and finances, it's the lion. And in your case, it means that you cannot, don't hold back the truth, but you can speak the truth in a way that's kind. So you can say, I don't understand. So if it's financial, I don't understand. Please explain it. You can say that like 100 times until you finally get it correct in your head. The same thing happens in love. You can say, you can tell your truth. And sometimes the truth is hard because you want to hide the fact of things. You want to bury it down deep because we all play these games. So what this says is in love and in finances, tell the truth, be forthright, and don't play games, and everything is going to work out beautifully. Okay.
All right.
Moving right along.
Moving right along. Danielle's next.
Okay, Danielle.
All right. She was born June 28, 1972.
Okay.
And she's from Trenton, Michigan.
Okay, Danielle from Trenton, Michigan. You have in the winter the dog. Again, the dog is a symbol of loyalty. It means that, you know how on Facebook they say, I'm going to see who my real friends are, that kind of thing. You probably are already deep into that, deep into not wanting frivolous or surface friends. You want people who are truthful and honest with you and caring and who want to do things with you. And that's one thing for everyone who's listening. Get out of your house. Go and do something. It's like really, really important because the loyalty that you get with friends is the memories you create with friends. And those memories are the glue that holds you together. So get out and do something. Go to a class. Go to a seminar. Go to Chuck E. Cheese's. Whatever. Just get out and do something, and all will be well. And then in the springtime, it's the same. It's the fencing. You'll notice that this card, and I'm shuffling them, will come up a lot in the springtime. It's because you have to learn to do the dance to defend yourself. If there's been a history of having the world poo-poo on your head, that's spiritual. You want to be able to be like the ninja and you just slice it all up into fertilizer and you're not going to care. It's going to be wonderful for you. And so you want to keep your skills honed. If you are able, it's a very good time then for you to take something like Tai Chi, which teaches you about your Dantian, that middle part of you. Okay. And then the summer, somebody is looking at you with love and longing. You've really connected with somebody, and they care about you and are willing to take care of you. So that's really good. So summertime is going to be a time when you feel taken care of. And then in the winter time is the coffin. So I'm not going to die, I promise. But it does mean the ending of certain things. So you might decide to sell your house. You might decide to leave your job. You might decide to move down to wherever. You might decide to change your life. So, in what year was she born?
She was born in 72.
Okay, so that means that you're in one of those cycles. So you're coming to the end of a cycle. So in general, at that time, it's big in your heart to make the necessary changes to find the joy, and that's what this card means. And then, and as far as love and finances go, good partnerships, good friends, hand in hand, not having to go it alone. So that's the overall reading for 2017, not 19, 2017. God, I'm like flashing back. It's bad. Okay, who's next, Dave?
Old hippie days, huh?
Old hippie days, yeah, flashbacks. Who knew?
All right, hey everybody, don't forget though, if you would like a reading, a personal reading, you can do it either in person, by phone, or by Skype. 630-554-5040 is the number to call. And
you can text me, and if you have questions about it, our fee schedule, point blank, is $75 for an hour.
And today's show is being brought to you by Reuniti.
Really big malted milk cups, because if you're going to pour water, you might as well just pour a lot.
Okay.
So there you go. Okay, who's next?
Joann's next. She was born February 15th, 1953, from Wyandotte? Wyandotte?
Wyandotte.
What is it?
Wyandotte.
Wyandotte, Michigan.
Okay.
Okay.
This is your winter time. You know, it's a time to work puzzles, to play, to get out a game, to have people over for cards. Really and truly, when this card comes up, especially in the winter, it means don't be by yourself. It's not a time to snuggle up and read. It's a time to be with friends and do fun things. So that's your winter. And then this is nice. In the springtime, it's the ring. So when you get the ring and the wholeness in the springtime, it means that things that you've been working on sometimes for as long as 5-6 years are going to come together. So the feeling is, most of us, we might say that we want to have a job that pays us $150,000 a year. That would be a good one. But we don't really want the money. I know you're saying you're crazy, Amy. We want the feeling of having the money, so that it can actually be way less money if you figure out how to use it properly. So the circle means you want the feeling of wholeness, and the feeling of wholeness starts inside of you. So once you like yourself and feel confident that the angels are taking care of you, and I promise they are, then you're not going to worry so much, and that feeling of wholeness will just pervade your whole environment. It'll be wonderful. And then in the summertime, the star. So it's kind of unusual to have 3 or 4 lucky cars, but you're doing pretty good. The star means that the outcome of all your desires is going to be granted, sort of like the fairy godmother. And health-wise, just in case you've been experiencing some negative health things, the star means that you will be healed, or if not cured, you will pass any kind of discomfort, and you're going to feel really good in the summertime. And then in the wintertime, you have the moving card. So once again, it can be that you make a small or a large move, but it's nice to be able to, in the fall, and when everything is changing in the fall, when the leaves are falling, when the season is changing, it's a time to make changes for yourself. So when it falls in the fall, it's very powerful to make that change, to look at your environment and see what you would like to change, and have the courage to go ahead and do it. And then the relationship and money card, this is good, is the moon. The moon means that there's going to be a very good flow of both romance and money into your life this year. So you be with the goddess, or the female, whatever religion you are, whatever female character is there. You want to just, say if you're a Catholic, you pray to the Blessed Virgin. You could pray to Shiva. You want that beautiful goddess energy to flow through you all year long and illuminate everything. Okay. There you go.
All righty, last but not least for last week's
okay,
people.
we're going to get to this week.
All righty,
okay.
It's Rita. She's born September 12, 1954, from Detroit, Michigan.
Okay, Rita. Okay, well, you got the cats. So the playfulness, right now, if you try to be serious, you're going to get ticked off because your friends won't be serious. If you say you're having a political discussion, who you? Nobody's going to pay attention to you. They're going to be frivolous. So you want to go ahead and go with it. Be fun back. Make smart comments. Have a good time. Go out someplace. Go to see a play. Do something fun with your friends and plan it out. And it's going to, the winter is just going to fly by instead of being heavy on your shoulders. Okay. Somehow the angel just said, go to a quinceanera. So maybe you should go. If you're invited, go. Because there's going to be some positive things that are going to happen at some kind of a family party. In the springtime, it's the bride card. The bride is the highest level of attainment for a woman in the deck. Now, remember that this comes from the 1860s, 1850s. So that at that time, women didn't have a lot of, you wouldn't be a lawyer. So to marry the right man, to marry well, was very important. So although in these days it doesn't necessarily mean that, it can mean that you are taking a relationship to that next level. If you are in a relationship, that you're renewing your relationship. It could mean that you're going ahead and moving into a contract and a job that you really like, that's going to really benefit you. So it's a very, very positive card, no matter how you look at it, for the springtime. And then for the summertime, whatever you do in the spring, you're going to end up partying. So that part of you that's the party animal, and in this case, the card is meant to indicate soirees, which was back in the 1800s. People would gather together, they would drink wine, they would talk, and the hostess was the person who kind of like was the ringmaster of everything. She would invite scintillating, interesting people, and they would play music, they would tell wonderful stories, and it made her very important in the neighborhood because she had so many wonderful friends. So it's really, truly the party card, but it's the card where you're going to meet a lot of really interesting people and share them with your friends. And then in the wintertime, you have the loyalties. So you'll get a little tired of all the partying. You'll pick one or two friends that are loyal to you, that you enjoy their company, and you'll kind of settle in for the fall. You'll settle in the fall, and then the relationship and money up. You're going to learn to deal with it. So the swords mean that you're going to be able to do the relationship dance. And my hunch is you're not that good at it, but you're going to learn to be good at it. You're going to be able to say the things you mean in a way that's going to get you where you want to go. And the same thing with money. So you'll be able to get that raise. You'll be able to get your baby daddies to pay up. You'll be able to get the things you need and you want, and gracefully and wonderfully, and people go, wow, what happened? I really want to help you. So that's what the swords are all about. Okay, take care. All right, Dave, yay.
Okay. That's last week's.
All right, all you who are so patiently listening.
Okay. Patricia.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Priscilla. October 15th, 1965, from Berwyn, Illinois.
Oh wow, I grew up in Cicero. So Patricia, wow. What's her name?
Priscilla.
Priscilla, sorry. I knew I was wrong. Yeah, and I lived in Berwyn for a long time too. How interesting. Okay, you have the child card. So it's, in your case, it's a little bit different than the other child cards. It's to take a break from worrying so much. Children have concerns. My granddaughter is only 4, and she came to me with a concern about someone in her life. It was funny as hell, but she was really, really serious. So it's a time when you might look at things very, very seriously from a child point of view. But you have to remember that you're not a child. You're an adult, or you're a parent. Those two figures, the adult and the parent, they have the information they need. Kids don't know. So don't be childlike as far as the circumstances of your life. Be childlike in your wonder at things. And then this winter is going to go great for you. In the springtime, you have the star, which is the fulfillment of all your desires, that's always good. One thing here, and this is the hardest thing. I often ask clients, what do you want? And they hate that. I mean, literally, really, really, really hate it because they don't know. So I would take some time this winter to make a little list of what you think you might want. And so then in the springtime, when it's going to be amazing how easy it's going to be to manifest, you'll just be able to go, and you won't get things you don't want, like the story of the genie. Make sure about your wishes. Okay, and then in the summertime, it's the cats. So you have 2 cards that can be very playful. So I think it's about time that you stop worrying. I think that's very important. And then, in the fall, the end of the year, the bride card, the fulfillment of all your highest hopes. Often you have to go somewhere in order to get to where you want to go. You have to go someplace else. So I was recently doing a reading for somebody, and I told her that I thought someone was going to propose at a certain time. And she came back to me and said, I don't think it's going to happen because an old friend had come into her life and different things had happened. And I had to laugh because in order for the first person to propose, all these other things have to unfold so that the proposal comes up. So it's funny how we look at things. So just remember that the things of the year are going to happen, and then the outcome is going to be this very positive outcome. And in the long run, your finances are going to be steady because good people are going to be with you. and your love life is going to be good because you're going to have the love and loyalty that you look for. Okay, take care. Fellow Berwinite.
Debra, she was born November 13th, 1959. She's from Trenton, New Jersey.
Okay. You know, one of the wonderful things about being on Facebook Live is that we have people now from all over the world. Not only from all over the United States, but all over the world. So that's really exciting for me to be able to read so many people. So, Debra. This is going to be a year of a lot of movement. You know, in readings, even in a whole bunch of readings, probably in 3 or 4 months, this card will only come up once or twice. So this is kind of interesting to me that the stork card has come up so many times. It looks like this winter time, you're going to be thinking about moving. And I'm going to say that it's going to be a positive thing. Don't be afraid. I'm actually thinking of moving and have my house on the market. Is it daunting? Yeah. You know, packing, moving, ew. However, I have this like fire in my belly about the duplex, how exciting it's going to be, how I can make it my own. So you want to look at the fire inside of you about change and know that it's right and you're moving in the right direction. Okay. In the springtime, the beautiful moon, which almost assures that any decision you make is going to turn out just fine, because the goddess always has her finger in the good things. So she always wants you to be happy and filled with joy. So that's going to be the springtime. In the summer, it's the mentor card. So it sometimes means studying with somebody. It means somebody's going to come in and talk to you. It means that there's going to be connections that you're going to make. And you want to have somebody who you can share with and who can give you advice. And then in the fall, oh, this is a nice card. In the fall, it means that you're going to, it's the absolute assurance of positive outcomes. However, it can mean that you've been spending a lot of time making your family happy, and these positive outcomes are good for you, but might not necessarily be appreciated by your family. So it's important to stand your ground. So probably given the cards, they're going to think that you've had a nutty year. But the standing your grounds and being filled with love and grace and beauty, they're going to all come around to your side. And then love and finances. Oh, well, can't get much better than that. It's the bride. Success in all ventures, in all finances, plenty of flow of money. And since she's come in this card, I would say you're going to be very lucky. So go ahead and play a lottery or do something silly that might answer that Publishers Clearinghouse thing. You just might be lucky. That's the kind of huge luck that this card brings when it's in the middle like that. Okay, take care.
All right, next up.
Okay.
Out of the 40 we have here, Judy.
Judy. Okay, Judy.
April 8th, 1962, from New Jersey, wants to know about job and relationships.
Okay. Job. The dog. So somebody in the wintertime, so that's now, you need to be appreciated and you need to know that the people around you are loyal. I think that that's not the case. So I think you're going to have to make moves to either unplug from the discord, so the craziness of your workplace, or unplug from thinking that you're not going to get a job. You want to look not so much for money, but for the environment of your work, because it's going to be very important to you. In the spring, oh, that's nice. In the spring, you're going to have release from your worries, a more childlike energy. Since you've asked about love, this kind of childlike energy is the most appealing to people. We all think we think we want Prince Charming, or we want God, I don't know any current movie stars. Marilyn Monroe. Okay, we think
She's current.
She's current. Okay, well, maybe in spirit. We want that hot mama or handsome daddy to come into our lives and sweep us off our feet and take care of everything. But the truth of the matter is that that's not the truth of the matter. We want someone to laugh with. We want someone that we feel comfortable with. And if there's passion and love, that's a good thing, but it's not everything. So look for somebody coming into your life that's joyful and fun. And then in the summer, the kittens, so the same fun goes ahead into the summertime. Probably you'll meet someone who wants to travel or who enjoys going camping, and if you hate camping, enjoys taking cruises or something like that, and you're just going to have a wonderful time. You're actually, looks like you're quite social. And then in the wintertime, it's the clouds. So in your case, it might mean that it's time to rest up, to kind of do a reassessment of the year, to not, don't make a lot of plans in the fall. It's not a bad card at all, but it does indicate that it's time to kind of go to ground and reassess everything. And then this is good, for finances and for love, it's the messenger card. So it's like Paul Revere. So he's coming to give you positive messages. So you're going to get that job offer, you're going to find that fun person to be with, and that's guaranteed. Okay, take care. Alrighty,
moving along. Alrighty, can you say that, please?
Treva?
Treva, March 3rd, 1963, from Missouri.
Okay.
Will finances be more stable this year?
Yes. Not just for you, but for a lot of people because of the astrology. Once again, the financial situation in the United States is because of the people. The people are hopeful. And when the people are hopeful, I don't care what those guys are doing in Washington. When you feel upbeat and hopeful, you are more likely to find a better job, to make your world a better world. So finances are going to be better. And I know for a lot of you it's been really a rough time, but it's going to become less troublesome, and you're also going to change the way you think about things. Like I have to admit that I took a lot of pleasure in shopping. We have the friendly mailman, ding dong, and there's a package that comes from the internet. What I realized with that is that I get a lot more joy of talking with my friends, of working, of doing those kinds of things than of buying things I don't even unpack. So that release is like a little like an addiction. So in your case, put it aside and say, I can get my joy out of other things. Don't say I don't want to spend money because that's going to make you nuts. But what am I going to get my joy out of today? So that's going to be very interesting for you. Wow. So the card that comes up for now, for the winter time, is the mentor card. This guy, he looks a little bit like Edgar Casey, so I often think that it's a spirit mentor that's going to come and help you to make the right decisions, to say the right things, to step back and to assess before you talk. And he's going to really help you to fundamentally shift the way you handle things so that in the springtime, you will be able to get rid of, the sigh is where you cut down the weeds. You get rid of the people who don't honor you. If not actually getting rid of them, you don't let them bother you anymore. You just step back and go, oh, look how interesting, you're being negative again. You just, it just doesn't, blows right over your head, so you really don't care. And when you do that and they can't engage you anymore, they kind of just drift away, or they change. Every once in a while that happens. So that's going to be in the spring. You're going to winnow out the people who don't serve you. And then in the summertime, your good health is going to return. And the rose is the sure indication of rugged good health and good happenings in your life. I never appreciated that until I had a very interesting 2016. So now I understand the joy in being able to walk across a room, the absolute wonder of being able to wake up and not be in pain, etc., etc. So this is a very, very valuable card. So in the summertime, lots of things are going to change for you, and you're going to feel really good. And then in the fall, oh, this is nice. It's the park. So the park means that you'll come to a place in your heart and in your home and in your life with your friends. Well, you'll be very kind of Zen-like or Buddhist-like. You're going to be detached from any kind of sorrow, and you're going to have an absolutely peaceful and wonderful outlook. it takes a while to get to this place, but once you do, you never want to leave because it's a beautiful thing inside. And then the key for finances and romance, you have the key to success. So my hunch is that once you hit that park, it's going to change your entire life and draw to you all those people who are going to help you have that success, help you have that romance. Okay, take care.
Okay. All right, Karen. No hometown. January 12th, 1965.
Okie dokie. Karen. Karen. Interesting. So, the star, it's very good, but I'm going to tell you something. When he just read your birth date, you may not exactly appreciate how good your luck is. You may be so fixated on things that you're not getting that you don't see right in front of you the angel handing you a golden orb, So you want to practice, what is it that, being thankful. So you wake up in the morning and you're thankful for the day. You go to bed at night and you're thankful for the day. You have joy filling your heart every day. If you want to look on the Intuitive Angel Radio Show page, I post a lot of interesting techniques and things you can do to fill your heart with joy. And that's what the star is really going to help you do that. And then in the two cards that are so lucky, in the springtime, you're going to have the sun. It's a wonderful card to have in the spring because it means that everything around you is going to grow. You're going to be very abundant. The harvest is going to be wonderful in the fall. So the sun in the springtime is one of the best cards you can possibly get. And then travel. So the train tracks. It means get out of Dodge. You are abundant in luck and in friends and in good things happening. The only thing that's left is to travel and to learn things. So travel for you in the summertime is going to be really important. If you have a job where you can't travel, you can do little weekend trips. You can even go far away on a weekend, pretty cheap. You can look in the paper for cheap airfares, and one of my friends went to Paris for the weekend. So do that and go outside of the boundaries where you feel safe, and that's going to be very enjoyable for you. And then in the fall, you have the pig. So the pig is, if you have a pig in your poke, you and your family will survive. That's the reason the pig is so lucky, because back in Europe, sometimes people starved, and so a pig meant you could make little pigs, you could slaughter the pig and eat, you could barter with your friends about using the pig to make more pigs. The pig was a symbol of assured existence and success. And then we have, in the middle, the safe. In this case, since it's in the middle, it means that you want to vary how you look at your relationships and your finances. So if you have the safe door open, it means that all your savings are going to go up in smoke, and your heart is going to be broken. If you have it closed, you're not going to be able to benefit from the savings or the relationship because you won't allow yourself to have it. So the key is to opening and shutting the door, sort of like opening and shutting the valve of abundance, so that you have a balance. That's what this is about, a balanced financial, a balanced romance life, and then all will be well. Okay, take care.
All right, thank you, Karen. All right, Rebecca was born March 13th, 1951, and she has no hometown either.
Okay, Rebecca. Let's look at this. Rebecca, you have the circle, the wedding ring, the culmination of a lot of efforts coming into balance. Again, the cards mean different things when they fall into different seasons or different directions. So in this case, when it comes into the fall, it means that it's sort of like the completion, or the wintertime, it means that it's the completion of the year. It's the time when you have to look at the last year and assess what you've done and where you've gone. For you, it would be a very good time to, you're probably multiple project kind of a gal. So you want to pick one or two projects to give your energy to. This is not a time to be scattered. It's important. Okay. And then in the springtime, it's the certain success of whatever you've picked. And so again, when a good card falls in the springtime, it predicts a very positive outcome for the whole year, because you sow the seeds in the springtime and then you're going to reap the benefits. The anchor also means that you'll reap immediate results from you'll be immediately abundant. You don't have to wait a whole long time. And in the summer, anything that was holding you back, so this is what the card means. The mirror is the end of a curse. So you break a mirror and you have 7 years of bad luck, right? The Romans actually started that, and they believed that your whole physiology changes over every 7 years. I always think that's fascinating that they figured that out, because it's about true. So all of our cells change out every 7 years. So when you have the broken mirror, it indicates the end of something that's been holding you back. And since you have two good cards, it's finally crushed that, and you're going to be free to pretty much do whatever you want. The only bad thing about it is sometimes when you're finally free, you enslave yourself again, so be careful of that. And then the fire on the hearth, it looks like you won't be enslaving yourself again, that you're going to become truly you. It might be time to take a few personal development classes so you can figure out who truly you is. But, or, you can go and just go into any bookstore in the psychology department and look at personality assessment tools. It's one of the things I studied a lot, like things like the Enneagram, different horoscopes, Myers-Briggs, all of that. So you kind of understand the different human traits that you might have, and so you can pick just one or two to change if you want to make your life a little better. And then romance-wise and finance-wise, it's time to get rid of the things that don't serve you. So the whole year, you'll be winnowing out the things that don't serve you. Once again, I told the story a little earlier about the angel telling me to clean out my closet. At that time, I had no idea I would be moving. And then I got so busy that now cleaning out my closet is a daunting thing, where at the time I had lots of time and I could have done it pretty easily. So all year long, just begin winnowing and cleaning out, and everything will be good. Take care.
All right. Next we have Denise. She was born Christmas Day, December 25th, 1959, with no hometown.
She's actually in Downers Grove, Illinois. So, okay, yay. Or Naperville, right in that area. She's in Illinois. Okay, so let's just look up. You saw me shuffle. Wholeness. So this time is a time of wholeness, of pulling yourself together, of, in a circle doesn't allow for a lot of deviation. So you could have like a rhombus or a big shooting star or something like that, and there's many, many things that are going to take your attention. In this case, it means focus. Look inside of yourself. Take a deep breath. Look for that wholeness in your situation. The angel just said, you are safe. So interesting. So your wintertime is going to be safe, and you might even notice that you're attracted to circles. In the springtime, the things that have been bothering you are going to go away, so it's the end of the curse card. That's good, because I have a feeling that you haven't had the enormous success that you should have, to tell you the truth, and so that the curse could be blocking you. So now it's over, and now it's time to move forward. Sometimes when you are successful, other people's jealousy of you can block the energy, so that it's that much more difficult. That's why a lot of stars and things don't want their personal life known in the press or any place. They're very withdrawn almost, because they just don't want that negative energy. So, but in this case, it says it's over. You're going to be strong, and let's see what's going to happen in the summertime. The assurance of success. So you're going to shine. So you're going to just have the most wonderful summer. All of your joys and wants and things are going to all come together. It also indicates a lot of abundance. And then more abundance in the fall, the flames on the hearth, an assurance of a successful outcome for the whole year. And then the middle card, once again, not spreading yourself too thin friend-wise, getting rid of, that doesn't sound right, cleaning house, losing the things that no longer serve you. Okay, and that's going to be a kind of a thread throughout the whole year. Not in a mean way, but in a gentle, kind of open way. You're just going to kind of leave some things behind and move on. Okay, take care, Denise.
All right, back to Denise. Okay, Monica's next. October 2nd, 1958. And, okay, we're getting home states now.
Woo!
She's from Michigan.
Okay, Denise from
And she
Michigan.
was curious about health for herself and her husband.
Okay. The moon card says that most likely your question about health for yourself isn't really about yourself, it's about your husband. So when you have the goddess or the moon in wintertime, it's a time when you actually are very strong, although you may be very concerned about your husband's state of health. So in that goddess mode, you can do things that will enhance his health. But I will say, don't tell him directly what you're doing because he may be stubborn in this matter. So you might know if he only eats broccoli, he's going to be okay, but he'll never, ever touch a stalk of broccoli. So what you want to do is sort of benign things. In his case, there's well, it's not new. There's a hydrogen generator. So go up on Amazon and type in hydrogen generator. And they range in price from like $6,000 to $59.99. Young Living Oils is now selling one, and theirs is about $350. However, I wouldn't spend that much money. If you can find one that has a little button and you can recharge it wherever you are without plugging it in, that's great. If you can't, that's okay too. Just get one, you plug it into the wall with a USB, and it breaks up the hydrogen molecules from the oxygen molecules. And in your husband's case, the hydrogen is the most powerful antioxidant, and you can just give him a glass of water or mix his gin with it or whatever. And he's going to feel way better and way more youthful. Probably have to run away from him. Okay, and the next card is the flowers. So the flowers say, very, very happy life, but once again, maybe some discord in the family. So it's important for your health, for your heart, since you're asking, not to let your family break your heart. You are responsible for your own joy. So when I see this in the springtime, it means that there might be some discord with your family. Just don't let it get to you. And then in the summertime, it's that time to move. I don't think we're talking about moving on away from your husband, but it may be that the life you're leading right now is a little bit too much. So you might want to downsize, you might want to make some decisions, but instead of looking at it as a deficit, you want to think about it as a really joyful change that's going to unburden the two of you. And so that's in the summertime. And then in the wintertime, you have the bride. So that means everything you do all year is going to come to a wonderful resolution, that you're going to be very happy. And a bride also predicts very good health and longevity. And then in the middle, the mentor. So don't be afraid to go for help. I recently had a client whose husband had a health event, and she couldn't understand. He'd come out of the hospital after a very serious event and much time spent in the ICU, a different person. And that's a common thing. It's called ICU psychosis. So if someone around you is really ill and then they don't seem themselves, go and talk to a professional. Even when I was in the hospital, I was in for, I think, about 4 weeks. And the psychologist came in, and of course I said, no, I don't need you. And she just looked at me and she said, well, people who need me say that. So I was taken aback. So I didn't realize that I was traumatized, that when you have an accident, you have PTSD. So it's similar to health accidents too. So don't be afraid to find someone who can help you help your husband. Okay, take care.
Okay.
Dave has the flu. That's why he's sighing in the background. So send some healing energy.
Kiss.
Yeah. No. Ew.
Okay, Debbie's next.
Send positive energy to Dave. He needs it.
Okay, Debbie.
Reiki. All those of you who are Reiki people, send some Reiki. Okay.
Okay, September 7th, 1955. Debbie's from Yorkville, Illinois.
Okay, Debbie from Yorkville. Once again, we must all be at that age or something where we're changing our lives and we're moving forward. You know, one of the things about this card, the stork on the roof, which indicates a move of some kind, the moves are in general very positive. So when the stork comes up, even though you might be kicking and screaming and not wanting to change things, it will have a positive outcome if you go ahead and open your heart and your mind to change. There you go, change. Ew, but it's going to be good for you. Okay, and then, it will be good for you. The only blockage when you get this card is your family. So your family might not, my circumstances over the last several years have changed dramatically. And when I first was going into the change, I thought I needed one thing. And I wanted a house just like mine, but smaller. Now, 3 years later, I don't want that anymore. I want a house that's me, not just like the one I'm living in right now. I want something that enhances me. I want something that's beautiful and much smaller and easier to take care of so I can be free to travel. So I'm not looking at it like a trauma where I'm uprooted from my home. I'm looking at it more as moving into something wonderful. So that's the kind of attitude you want. Okay. Now in the South, the goddess, and that's highly unusual. Usually in the South, it's time when there's a lot of action. The crops are coming in. Everything is growing. The earth is actually strobing with energy. So this means that you're going to want to moderate that energy. You want to watch your energy. You want to spend a little more time with the goddess and with friends. For some reason, drum circle comes into mind. You might want to do a drum circle with some friends. Because the rhythmic beating, or if you don't have any friends that have drums, you can just get a CD. The Gordon brothers have some wonderful CDs that you can get online, not very expensive, and you'll really enjoy it. And this moon energy means that it'll unleash the magic within you. And then in the fall, you have the mentor card. So once you've unleashed the magic, I think you're probably going to want to learn more about it and then eventually teach. So I don't know that much about you, but I think that you could probably do what I do. It just is going to take a little rounding out of the edges and all will be well. And then finance, the bride, it doesn't happen again. So finance means that you really don't have any worries. Finance and relationship-wise, everything is going to be joyful. And this joy is going to permeate the whole entire year. Okay, take care.
Alrighty. Thank you very much, Monica. Excuse me, Debbie.
Debbie.
So sorry. Next up, we have Diane.
Okay.
March 29th, 1964.
And
Excuse
what
me,
day is that?
No, just December 29th. My bad.
Oh, thank
But you know
God.
what the 29th is? In March. Okay. Anyway, December 29th, 1964. Well, we're exactly 3 months
There you have
separated.
it. Okay.
Okay, and she's from Aucklandlander. What is it again?
Perth, Scotland. She's from Perth in Scotland.
Okay, from Perth in Scotland. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Good.
All right. Wonderful. Good health and fulfillment of your highest hopes. You are moving into a time celestially of amazingly positive and vigorous energy. The only thing about it is you have to kind of not let the people around you to bring you down. Don't cater to everybody and allow your beautiful shooting star to tube out. Okay, so you want to have that highest energy and go ahead and shoot for the moon because you're going to make it. In the springtime, it's the key to success. Once again, for those of you who are Reiki practitioners, New Age kind of people, healers, listening to the show, this 2017 is a time when you're really going to shine. A word about magical thinking. We vary as human beings between being wedded to science and wedded to magic. Okay, Science is just magic that we've discovered how it works. That's just the way it works. And if we don't have magic, we never think of the things that science can give you, because science works on presumption. You know, you presume that if you do this, this, and this, it's going to work. And you can't presume anything if you don't believe in anything. So for those of you who are light workers, who are really wanting to help the world to move forward in a positive manner, you are on the express train. You will have all of the resources you need, and there's going to be a marriage between science and magic. It's just going to happen. You'll see there'll be more and more magical TV shows. There'll be more science TV shows that talk about the magical thinking. Magical thinking is not what you think. It is not the thinking of uneducated people. It is the thinking of the Newton. It's the thinking of Galileo. It's the thinking of Edison. So be who you are and don't be afraid. Key to success, okay? And then mentor. So there's going to be someone who's going to come into your life as a mentor. Word of caution here, and that is that you're really something, lady, and you don't need a man to tell you that you're really something. So be careful of that, because sometimes when all this energy is flowing through you, it's possible to put all your energy on someone else because you don't want to be the front person. I've seen that in my travels all around the world all the time. So be responsible for yourself. The mentor is going to be there and you're going to learn things, but learn them joyfully instead of painfully. And then cutting out the things in your life that don't serve you. So many times we think we have to carry all kinds of burdens. And in your case, this is more financial burdens. So you don't have to do everything that you've always done. You can do things that enhance you, so then you will be able to bring more abundance to everyone around you. But keep that energy for yourself in the fall. And then the middle card is spend a little, save a little, spend a little, save a little. And it's the same romantically or energetically with your mentor. Invest a little bit of your heart, but save a little bit of your heart so that everything is balanced and all will be well. Take care, all the way from Scotland.
All righty, next up. And don't forget, if you're joining us late, everybody, we're doing our best to get to all the readings.
We are.
Okay, we get a lot of last-minute readings. What?
Never mind.
Anyway, we get lots of last-minute readings, and we're doing our best to get to all of them. So please.
And if we
be
can't,
patient.
then because next week is a pet show, so your pets, we want to hear about your pets on this side or the other side. And we'll be doing a lot with pets and talking about their energy and speaking to you through them. So, but we'll keep your name for the next show. So we try to get to everybody eventually. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Who is this?
Okay. Is that Brandy or Brandis? Or what is that?
Brandy.
Okay, Brandy, October 10th, 1979, from Decatur, Illinois.
Has anybody else found as you get older your handwriting has gotten really bad?
Amy, I've known you for 20 years.
My handwriting's always been
It's
bad.
always been bad.
That's because I write with my left hand like a left-hander. It's like,
Okay.
brings back thoughts of mean nuns.
Brandy.
Okay, Brandy. Brandy. You should travel this winter. You should get out of Dodge. Go someplace where it's warmer. Take a trip. It indicates that you should be in movement. If you can't take a trip or get out of Dodge, you want to get out and do things. It's really important to your energy to be able to do that. When you do, the spring is going to be a beautiful, sunshiny spring with all your hopes and desires being met. Next, in the summertime, there's going to be some challenges, but you're going to overcome the challenges. The trick, a long time ago, a Brazilian friend of mine told me that the trick is to imagine yourself floating to the top of a mountain and then stepping off and floating into the valley on the other side, and to have no fear at all. And so I've really lived my life like that. So mountains don't mean anything bad. They're just a challenge. And once you get that challenge done, you'll always have that tool to float right over disaster. Okay, not that there's going to be disaster. And then the outcome is the clover, which is one of the, there's 3 really, really lucky cards in the deck, and you've got 2 of them. So the clover indicates sure financial success and positive outcomes. And then the middle card is the lion. So it's watch your roaring. You might be the kind of person that has to speak the truth all the time. So you want to modify what you say. Just because you see the truth in a situation or you see the truth of someone's behavior doesn't mean it helps to tell them. You want to speak the truth from your own personal feelings. So you might say, you know, when you chew with your mouth open and all the food falls on the table, it reminds me of my mother yelling at me when I was a little girl, and it really scares me. See how that works? So you're not chastising, you're saying a true emotional response to the behavior you want to have changed, and all will go well, and you don't have to yell at everybody. Okay, take care.
All righty. Patricia, she was born, let's see, May 11th, 1966, and she's from Maywood, Illinois.
Okay, Patricia, 1966, that's a lucky year. You have the fox. There is an old Chinese legend that a fox can turn into a beautiful woman and steal your husband away. So they're called were-foxes. Fox energy is interesting because it means that things may not be how you think they are, and don't go get nervous about it. It just means that you have to take a deep breath. You have power over foxy behavior all the time. You can see it clearly. Call on the deity that you love. Call on Jesus to protect you, but not because you're afraid, but because you want to sail through, and you also want to pray for fox. So essentially it means that the friends around you might not exactly be who you think they are, or the man who comes in who is your life may not be what he says he is. God, with social media, you have to be careful. But that you'll pass right through that, no problem whatsoever, because you're going to be protected. And you're going to move into the spring with pig energy, which is one of the luckier cards in the deck. So pig energy means that any worries about finance are going to go away. You're going to be set for the rest of the year, so that's pretty good. So it looks like you're going to weather the foxy person. And then in the, wow, 2 good cards. In the summertime, the star is going to be out, so it's the fulfillment of your highest desires. It's just that everything is going to come really easy to you. I would make a plan to save a little bit of money. I think your nature is to give everything away, but you want to save up some money, not against bad times, but so that you can make the money work for you. Actually, I see you maybe starting your own business. And then recognition. So if you are starting your own business, it's going to go pretty quickly, and you're going to be recognized for everything that you do. And speaking of which, Amy's Dreamy Dead Sea Mud Mask, and so the link is on the site, is selling wonderfully, and thank you for all your really good reviews. It's what I do to take care of my skin, and I think that all people have the right to be beautiful and glowing, and so you're going to invent something similar to that. And then your card, love. I mean, there's no 2 words about it. The anatomical heart means that there's going to be love coming into your life in 2017. Take care.
Okay, there you go, Patricia. Thank you very much. Donna's next. April 5th, 1948, from Elgin, Illinois.
Donna, you want to stay home. In the wintertime now, it's the happy home is the most important to you. Anything that disturbs your zen, your happiness, you're going to be like a little tiger being unhappy about it. So everybody around Donna has to be happy, happy, joy, joy, or else she might just smack you upside the head. So happy home is really, really, really important to you. It's going to help you keep your sanity and your stability, and it looks like it's going to be very happy. When it comes in the wintertime like that, it's a kind of a nesting thing where everything comes together and you love your house. In the spring, you're going to venture out. So it's the crossroads. So you're going to have some, you may not want to leave your home because you may be a little bit afraid, but you want to take a deep breath and you want to venture out, because when you venture out, you'll be assured that your happy home will stay happy. Sometimes you have to go outside to bring the joy back inside. Okay, and then in the summertime, there's love. So you're going to fall in love. For some reason, I see a puppy, a rescue dog, or something like that coming to you. So it might be different kinds of love. It might be that you're going to open your heart and your beautiful home to somebody who's in need. It may be that it's romantic love, and that would be just wonderful for you. And then in the fall, it's the book. My hunch is that you like learning, and that in the fall, you're going to get deeply involved in some kind of subject matter. One of the things that, for some reason, I see an essential oil burner. So you might want to, over the winter and summer and spring, pick up some books on essential oils and become your own alchemist. So the book means you want to learn some magical things, and I think you'll be able to help the world by making your concoctions. And then overall, the year, it's the koi fish, which has not come up at all. The koi fish, you might see the big koi ponds in front of hotels and people's houses, and they're very popular in Japan and in China because the koi represents abundance and good luck. So that you, over the whole year, anything that you want to do is going to be financed by this wonderful good energy. Perfect. I want to hang out with you. Okay, take care.
All right, next up we have Tanisha. She was born, let's see, May 19th, 1970 from Litchfield, Michigan.
Okay, Tanisha. End of your bad luck. How about that? It's going to end. So anything that's been dragging you down or making you worried, it'll suddenly lift from your shoulders. When this card falls in the winter time, the only thing that you have to be careful of is missing your bad luck. You know, sometimes a person gets really used to being miserable in a certain way, and then when that misery is taken away from them, they miss it. They want to be upset. They're used to it. They're used to being sad all the time or worried. They don't have anything to say to their friends anymore. So, Tanisha, what I'd say to you is get ready to let it go, and then you want to say things like, how about them Cubs? Or look at something exciting and wonderful. Be in a positive energy rather than in a negative energy, and then you'll wipe away that curse energy, and you're going to just do great for the rest of the year. This indicates sure indication of success. So once you've wiped away that energy in the springtime, you're going to be a ball of fire. You will have lots of plans. You'll be getting things organized and taken care of. You're going to surprise everybody around you. And then in the summer, wholeness, the ring. You know, the angel just said you won't have to worry about finances or being taken care of, because the energy around you is going to prevent you from worrying about anything, which is really pretty beautiful. I can't quite pick up on how that's going to happen, but I'm positive, when I hear the voice, I'm positive that that's where you're headed. And then this is getting rid of cleaning house, getting rid of things that I told you. Getting any remedies for Dave? Getting rid of negativity that might still be hanging around. In general, because you're going to have such a good year, I don't think you'll have too much. But sometimes people who have been with you on the not so good journey get jealous because you're happy, and they don't necessarily like it. So don't let that happen to you. Be joyful, clean out the house, and get ready. And the whole year is going to be about successful ventures. So success in finances, success in job, success in family, success in love. Okay, take care.
All righty, next up we have Victoria.
Okay.
All right, October 5th, 1956, from Bartlett, Illinois.
Okay, Victoria. Oh, Victoria, this is so beautiful. This card is the park, and it foretells new love. When it's in the winter time, it means that your heart is softened enough to allow someone to come in. And actually, I see new love happen more in relationships, committed relationships, than I do coming off of Match.com. Because sometimes you're with someone and you don't appreciate them. Life happens and you forget why you're together. But when this card comes, it means that suddenly your heart opens and you appreciate those around you, children, friends, relatives, everybody. Suddenly you're in love with love in the world. So that's a really good card for the winter. And then in the spring, spring showers bring Mayflowers. It means that some of the ideas that you've held about people and things are going to be cleared away. The lightning is going to illuminate them for what they really are. And I think everybody always thinks negatively. It can also be positive. It can be, oh, this person has been a really positive influence and I didn't even pay attention to them. So lightning illuminates, so don't be afraid of it. Embrace it, take a deep breath, smell that clean air that comes after the storm. And your spring is going to be very enlightening. And then in the summertime, the people who are left are going to be the people who are very, very loyal, because you're going to have a new appreciation for loyalty. I think that's something that you have to really embrace, and you're going to absolutely have the best summer. And then in the fall, good news. The rider brings good news, brings sometimes it's financial documents. It might be if you're trying to sell your house or buy a house, everything works out. It could be a new job, but whatever it is, it's good news, usually brought by somebody. So like a letter or something like that. And then the overall energy. So the overall year in love and finances is that you're going to look at things with that kind of childlike look of wonder, and people are going to take care of you and cherish you. Great. Okay, take care.
All right, thank you, Victoria. Next up, we have Marianne. She's born May 11th, 1959, from Malta.
From the island of Malta.
Is a
Mediterranean. As opposed to Malta, Illinois.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So hi, Marianne.
There's a Malta, Illinois.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Right now, things may seem a little foggy. I think Marianne actually is living in London right now, so foggy is probably the name of the game. But don't try, when something's foggy, it's best just to appreciate the fog. I know that sounds really weird, but here, sometimes living by the river, it can be so foggy that it's not good to even try to go out, because it's that really, really dense, thick kind of fog, and it means lay low. Don't try to make a lot of changes. Don't be the warrior person. Lay low, be mysterious, be magical. This is your time to be magical. And then in the springtime, you have the mice. So the mice are about money, looking at finances in a hard way, and deciding how to allocate them. This is where a lot of people get afraid, but don't be afraid, because you're going to find a way to live better on less. And I can't tell you how many of my friends have been down that path, and they are just really, really joyful, because now they're doing everything they always wanted to be, and they're doing it on half the money, which is really strange, but you're going to figure it out. And then here, in the summertime, there you all are. In the summertime, there is a lot of opportunities, a lot of noise, and I've spent a lot of time, wonderful time, on the island of Malta, and the Maltese can be very noisy. So everybody has an opinion, and that's what this is about, everybody having an opinion. And since it's the summertime, it's going to kind of boggle your mind, but you want to just stay calm. Just like that fog, surround yourself with the fog. It's nobody's business what you choose to make yourself joyful. And then, finally, good card. Okay, it's somebody's looking at you with love and longing. It's a mentor, it's a boss at work, it's a lover, it's somebody who is going to say, oh, come with me, let's have an adventure, let's have something wonderful happen to the two of us. It could be a good friend too. And then, so the whole year is modified by the fact that you have the bear card. And the bear is a good omen of good success. So that means that every single obstacle that you have in your reading is going to be completely changed. And so that you're going to overcome everything. And at the end of the year, you're going to come out the victor. Okay, take care, Marianne.
Okay, thank you, Marianne. All right. Next up, we have Karen.
Okay.
April 2nd, 1964, in Spartanburg, South Carolina.
April 2nd, that's my birthday. Who knew? A fellow Aries. I'm so excited.
It's not your birthday.
It is, April 2nd.
This is July 2nd.
Oh, you said April.
Did I?
Yeah. See, it's
I'm
already
so
hitting
sorry.
his brain.
I'm on drugs. Thank you very much. July 2nd, 1964, Spartanburg, South
Still a
Carolina.
good day, July 2nd. It was my
It's
grandmother's
Karen.
birthday. Okay, Karen. Okay, the winter time is a time of endings, so it's the coffin. It might be a time when you have to say goodbye to some people that you really loved. But, okay, I think you're a natural medium, because the minute he started talking about you, all these spirits came and started chattering. So what the card probably means in your case is that your mediumship is opening up and that you're going to be hearing a lot from spirits. A word of caution in this, it depends on which way you want to go. You can go the paranormal way, which is to investigate whether or not these spiritual apparitions and voices and things are true, or you can go the mediumistic way, where you do meditation, and since you can communicate, you try to communicate as high up as possible. There's whole cadres of spirits that do nothing but help. Like my friend Amadrado in Brazil, he paints. And he paints with his fingers with a blindfold on. I mean, it's absolutely amazing, because there's a consortium of painter spirits like Picasso and Matisse, etc., who come through him. He makes the paintings and he sells them, and he changes the paint into bread for the poor. So he has a school for 700 children and an orphanage and a wonderful center where he takes care of the health needs of the community. I mean, it's amazing. So that's the kind of choice you're going to have to make as far as your mediumistic abilities. This says that if you've been suffering any health challenges, once you open up to mediumship, the health challenges are going to come to an end, because there's also healer spirits that will come in and take care of and fix you. Once again, be open-ended about what they do for you. Don't say, oh, my toe, because you might really need your head worked. So just say, whatever is for my highest good, please come and help me to heal. And it'll be a tremendous success. And then there's partnership. I would suggest a partnership with a living person, because while it's wonderful to be a medium, you are alive, and you want to enter into that partnership someone who is as the spirit is as spooky as you are. So you want to have someone who appreciates your abilities. And then this is a letter. It's good news. Maybe you'll be asked to be the new happy medium out there. It's a letter with good news in it. So in the fall, a lot of the things that you've been working on are going to come to fruition. It's that kind of year, actually, of abundance. And I think we're not, abundance is tricky. We need to take a deep breath and be able to accept it, rather than say, no, this can't be happening. You want to say, yeah, I should be abundant. All of you should be abundant. And then the overall thing all year long is just party hardy. So every time you're down, well, I can't say take a drink, but every time you're down, get with some friends, chat them up, have a good time, laugh a little, and you're just going to breeze through the whole year, and you're going to find, I think, a whole new way of life. Take care. That was amazing.
All right, Amy, we got time for a couple more.
Okay.
And it looks like we have a lot of people left over, Amy.
Oh.
So we're going to have to maybe just do a part 3 of the
oh, darn.
Of the predictions.
Okay, we'll do part 3 of the predictions, and we'll do the pets the following week. So we'll do pets the 18th of January.
So listen closely. This is for Kathy, Susan, Judy, Jenna, Stephanie, Shirley, Marcia, Debbie, Mindy, Len, Betty, Jill, Danielle, Julia, Angel, something I can't see, Yolanda, Jonathan, Roxanne, Lizette, Mary, Elvira, Pamela, Karen, Mary, Rachel, Debbie, Kathy, Angela, Mary, Pam, and Ute.
Okay.
Okay, guys, so
We'll
you're
do
up
part
next
3.
week.
I promise.
You're up next week. But we're going to finish up with Karen and Sylvia.
Okay, good.
Karen's first. No, we just did Karen.
We have 2 more.
That's right. So we're doing Sylvia and
Okay.
then finishing up. I'm so sorry. February 2nd, 1956, from Dayton, Ohio,
Okay.
is where Sylvia's from.
I
Ohio.
love people born February 2nd. That's like one of my favorite times. Okay.
Okay.
Sylvia, I think you've been working on your inner warrior goddess, and you finally refined it to the point where, thank you for the hearts, where you refined it to the point where it's like a dance. So you don't have to waste a lot of energy. You're the queen of the stating the obvious that just shuts everybody down and doesn't allow any room for bad behavior. This is really good, especially since it's in the wintertime, and so you're working with the goddess. Don't waste a lot of energy. Let the goddess channel through you, and go ahead and fight for your rights and for the rights of others, but do so with grace and humor and love. And then coming in the springtime, it's the Shepherd card. So this means that you might get involved with, doing readings or helping others or a not-for-profit of some kind. There's a word of caution with the Shepherd card. It's a job. The shepherd goes out there and watches out for the flock. He's very important to the flock, okay? So you're going to be very important to your flock. But you shouldn't let the flock rule your life. You're important to them, you're going to love them, but you need to also take care of yourself. That's very important. Okay, next, so it says be like a child, be like a kitten, be playful. You don't always have to be serious-minded. So in the summertime, it's the time to be playful. It's the time to take that trip you've been considering. And then in the winter, the trip. The trip shows up. The cruise ship, the abundance, the being able to do what you want and go where you want because you're going to have the materials to be able to do that. And then lastly, the beauty, the beautification, the beauty of your life. How that inner beauty that's going to shine through and that's going to penetrate the entire year. This is very good for you because I know you and I think that it's going to be a surf's up, joyful year for you. Okay.
All righty, everybody, and don't forget, before we do our last reading, just want to remind you that, of course, we have mediumship classes. We have Thursday, tomorrow, from noon till 2 at 83 Century Drive in Oswego. The subject of the class is Healing with the Angels and Spirits. And it's by donation. It doesn't cost you anything to come, but if you can donate, as we always say, dig deep. And then, of course, there's a repeat of that class Friday evening from 7 to 9, if that's more convenient for you. Also, Amy is available for any kind of reading that you can possibly come up with or think of. And in fact, if you make up one,
I'll do it.
Call her. She'll say, I do that. No, she won't. I'm just teasing.
Well,
630-554-5040 is the number to call.
And you can text as well as call, and we can do it in person, on the phone, or via Skype. So some people like to see just like this. I haven't figured out yet how to do it personally on Facebook Live, but one day I'll figure it out.
Oh, okay.
So that you can see your cards.
If you did it on Facebook Live, it wouldn't be personal anymore.
And that telephone number and the information about the readings is on the Intuitive Angel radio show page. So please check it out. And then you're the ones who are making us so very popular, and I can't thank you enough, because if you enjoy readings, you're opening the doorway for lots of people to see how readings work and to be able to bring that wonderful energy into their lives. So please share it on your page, share it on your friends' pages, and tell everybody about it. So thanks for being with us. Take care.
Okay, so the last reading
is
Kathy. She was born August 26th, 1959. She's from Lombard, Illinois.
Okay, Kathy. Oh, good. In the wintertime,
Excuse me.
it's good to have the pig card because it means you have the kind of resources to be able to survive the winter. In our society, it means that you inside of yourself have the joy and the resources to be able to move yourself forward in a beautiful way. So it means like promotions and good resolution of love affairs and things like that. So it's a very good card for wintertime. And then in the springtime, the star, which is the certainty of successful outcomes. So it's like you're blessed. So your friends are going to say, wow, you're having a lucky year, which is better than an unlucky year. And then recognition. So wow. This card, with the 3 cards like this, all 3 wonderful cards, it shows that this year is going to be a year when there's going to be payback for all of the wonderful things you've done throughout your lifetime. So it's just not recognition for something you did yesterday. It's as if you took a breath and could see all the people whose lives you've touched, and they're all there blessing you. It's a beautiful card to have in the summertime. And then in the fall, the anatomical heart, true love, is going to come. So you're having a heck of a 2017, and you just have to get ready. It is good to do some chakra cleansing because when you have so much abundance, you want to make room for it. So it's good to work with a Reiki practitioner to say you want to get cleaned out. You want to get ready to receive all this good energy because it's going to come no matter what. And then the card here, the middle card, love and finances, is the travel. So what it means in your case is that you're not going to find the wonderful good luck by staying home. You have to get out of the house. So get out of the house in every season, just for little mini vacations or mini trips. And each one you take, you're going to have a story to tell about it, and it's going to enhance your journey. Okay, take care.
All right. Thank you, Kathy. We appreciate it. And everybody else, thank you so much for your patience.
And once again, we're going to be doing next week. We'll do
part 3.
We'll do part 3 of New
that's
Year's
it.
readings,
That's
and then
it.
we'll do pets the following week, which will be the 18th.
Okay. All righty. Well, thank you, everybody. Amy, good job.
Thank you, Dave.
All righty. And I'm going to go back to bed right now. Good night, everybody.
Okay.
Bye-bye.